everyone, my name is Florine. So I'm standing in the coat room that I've been meaning to tidy up and organize for quite a while now. Now, I don't know what happened or how it happened, but it looks like a tornado hit this room. There are shoes everywhere, the coats are kind of just flung on the rails here. And in that cabinet, after we moved here, I kind of just shoved everything in there saying I'll get to it later, but just haven't gone around to it yet. So today I finally want to organize the space. And now since we're still in the middle of winter time, I thought now would be the perfect time to do it, because there have been a few moments where, because of the state of the room, we've only been able to find one pair of gloves or sometimes none at all, and in those cold winter days, that is not so bueno. So I want to tidy up the space and have everything accessible, easy to reach, and if there are moments where you need a scarf or a hat or something, then they're all easily accessible, rather than for now having dumped a few of them on this bench over here. So whenever I start a room makeover, or let's call this more of a room cleanup, there are a few things I like to consider, and that'll help sort of build a plan. And those questions would fall under, first one, what is working? So in this space, what's working is, I like the coat rack here, I like the bench over here, it's definitely handy, and the shoes all on display on the shelves also works, but they could use a bit of a tidy up. The second question falls under what's not working. So for example, in this space, the bag's just kind of dumped here, not such a big fan of it. This cabinet, the gloves and scarves and those kind of winter accessories are hard to reach because they've just been dumped in here. There's no organization system in here. And as I mentioned before, all the gloves and stuff that we have been able to find, we've just kind of dumped here, so there's not really a space for them to be at this moment, or let's say a proper space. And then the third question, which ties into the previous two questions, is considering what would make this space better. So here again, I'm thinking perhaps if there were some shelves that we could store some of the winter accessories on those shelves, if this was better organized, if there was another way to store away the bags, so perhaps I could hang up some hooks somewhere and let the bags hang from those hooks, things like that. So I'm just gonna give a little room assessment and then come up with a plan. As for my plan so far with this space, I'm thinking I'm going to start with the easy work, so just a quick tidy up. For example, hanging these coats back on the clothing rail, putting the shoes away neatly, either today or tomorrow, taking everything out of this place, organizing it. Just a quick organizational tidy up. And then some ideas I have for later on is, I want to see if I could put the shoe trees into another box and then use this basket for something a bit handier. And one extra thing that I wanted to add in is that the purpose of this tidy up right now is not to do a declutter necessarily, but just do a quick tidy up. The declutter I'll do in the near future. But first, the quick tidy up. It's like half the coats were all hung up here. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. And the last coat to put away. I want to try to organize all the shoes by type, so I'll start with the top two shelves. I'm thinking heels and more open toe shoes for myself here, and then perhaps the bottom two shelves for my boyfriend's shoes, and then larger shoes at the bottom. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world.
sky on your mind.
Gotta keep shoving it to the side. Okay, so I finished organizing the shoes today. It's not 100% perfect, but at least it's a lot better than it was before. And then tomorrow I'll continue on doing something about the bags, organizing the cabinet, and adding in those final touches like seeing if I can hang up a shelf somewhere to help organize things a bit better. But for now, good progress. Right, it's the next day and I'm ready to continue on. I got a bag here full of things that needed to go back into this room, like some extra scarves, gloves, and for later perhaps some hooks that we can use. So yesterday I did a general tidy up of the shoes and of the coats. Today I want to go through everything in these cabinets, see if I can do something about the bags, put them somewhere else, and then also I have these shelves and I want to see if I can do something with those as well. Alright, I have some bags here and I think I'm just going to put gloves in one bag, maybe some scarves in another, face masks in another bag, and just kind of do it like that. Gloves. All the hat stuff here. Alright, everything in here has been emptied out. I've categorized it all into... And so now I want to first clean up this cabinet and then I can sort of put these things back in here. I am back with my supplies. Okay, that's done. Continuing on, I think I'm going to start with the gloves and just kind of match them up and then put them neatly onto the shelf here. Then for now I'm putting away all the hats in this space here. The extra shoe stuff goes in here. Then I can put the box back up here. Then I'll put these two scrubbers up here as well. These are just more if you want to quickly wipe up the bottom of your shoes. Then they're easily accessible. And then last part is all the bike and running accessory gear. Actually, never mind. First up is the scarves. Done, so now these can be stored somewhere else later. The rain pads, I'm not too sure where to put them now, so I'm just gonna put them on the bench for now. But this is already looking a lot better. Moving on to the next segment. I thought these could be handy for extra storage for whatever may be. Originally I was thinking maybe it could be quite useful up here, so you could put like your scarves or your gloves, etc. on easy access here. But unfortunately that would be quite high. And this really wouldn't work unless you want to take off this rail and everything, and yeah, I don't want to have to do that. So this unfortunately does not really work. And then the last idea I had to try was to put in this area, but then again, these kind of rail things block it. And I'd have to take those off, or I'd have to put it up extremely high, and that does not look so nice either. So luckily, these shelves are supported by these loose hook things, and I checked to see if I could find any extra, and I indeed found a few that were not being used. So I can simply just put two up here. And then I can hang them up here. I should not be putting bowling balls up on here, and it's not perfect because you can still see the brackets. Yeah, not perfect, but for something simple like a few extra gloves, this could be quite a neat addition to the space. And exactly 2 more for 1 more shelf. afraid that this might fall as soon as someone grabs something too quickly off of it. So I might check later on to put it here instead. I'm gonna bring these two up to give them a wash. And this as well. And then these things will go upstairs. Okay, next part. I was thinking maybe to use this to hang up some bags. If it doesn't work, it can always be changed, but luckily these bags don't get accessed too often, and if the door can still remain open, then they'll be hidden behind here. Continuing on to the next part. I have an extra pair of rain pants that need to go somewhere. Another pair of shoes I found upstairs. And some extra boxes. Now, my idea was to see if I could perhaps fit the extra shoe trees in the hopefully 1 or 2 smaller boxes, and if not, I can always put in the larger one. These two definitely fits. And the large one also fits. Okay, just simply looking at it, I can see that not all of them would fit in it, so better off just going right into the bigger box. Alright, now that is done as well. Next thing done. The extra shopping bags can go here. Okay, the next phase is just about quickly tidying up a few more things and kind of giving it a temporary spot, or hopefully a permanent spot, and just kind of trying to clean it up a bit further. So let me see. Perhaps this can just stay here. This can go by the back there with all the bags. I'm thinking I can squeeze the 2 bike bags in the corner here, or perhaps at the back there, but I'm gonna first give it a quick wipe down. Now thinking the rain pants could perhaps go over here. Now for these rain pants, I would have folded them up and put them with the other ones, but I know that he uses them at least 2 times a week and they get dirty very quickly, and if they're folded, they're not going to stay neatly folded there, so So I think I'm going to instead use this basket for him to be able to easily grab things out of it, like his rain pants, perhaps his shoe covers, and then put that over here. I grabbed a new wet rag so I can clean the bench a little bit. Now before moving these shelves, I want to first give it a clean. Alright, now on to sort of fixing up this area. Okay, perhaps the sunglasses should go on top of here. That's too high. I need to hang this up as low as possible. Okay, that's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. So here I have a shelf with all the sunglasses, and then in here I put some extra sunglass cases. If someone needs to grab one, then they can find them here. Okay, perfect. I'll tell him he has to be extra careful if he takes something off of this shelf. For now, his helmet can go here. Alright, next quick thing I wanted to do was organize these coats a bit more, so things that are a bit more spring and summertime that don't get used as often can perhaps go at the bottom, and then the more frequently ones at the top. So for example, this one, very springtime coat can go here. This one also doesn't get used as often. Spring coat grabs it a lot. And then extra hangers can just go here perhaps. Okay, and then these are our longer coats, so those will have to stay here, but a quick 2-minute tidy and that's already looking a lot better. Alright, so I did quite a bit today. It's gearing towards the finish line. I think tomorrow, or maybe not tomorrow because it's my boyfriend's birthday, but in a few days' time I'll come back, tidy up the last few things, give this room a vacuum, and then finish the final details like checking the organizational stuff, and then I think this room should be complete. Well, hello again. I'm back here in the coat/shoe room, and I'm hoping that today will be the final day of the cleanup. I'm setting myself an intention that I'm gonna get it done today. So today should be relatively easy. It's just about the final detail work, like I wanna further clean up the shoes, vacuum at the bottom, maybe I have some extra boxes that I want to see if I can use to perhaps help further organize the cabinet. And as a last step, the kind of detail work, I want to see, for example, if I can perhaps put this mirror somewhere and maybe put this to use. Okay, so first easy step to start with then is just making sure that all the shoes are positioned in the same way, because I think that that helps with the kind of neatness of it all. So most of the shoes, I place them one facing forward and one facing backwards, so I want to repeat that with the more formal kind of shoes. Now these are my sneakers, which I do grab quite often, so for me it's okay just to have them facing both in this direction. Then for his shoes, I think I did all of them. Okay, I just changed it to make sure that all the shoes and all the rows facing the same direction, so my attention to detail might just maybe do that. The next finishing task, which is just about kind of vacuuming under the shoe area, so these shoes get worn the most often, so for this section it's okay to kind of keep the shoes in the way that it is, but I do want to give it just a quick clean. now since the floor is dirty anyways, I can move on to the next part of it, which is vacuuming the floor. Now moving on to the next thing that I wanted to tackle today is further organizing this cabinet with all the winter accessories like gloves and hats and everything. It's already looking a lot more organized, but I want to see if maybe I can put some old boxes to use, because we all know how these things go where you neatly fold them and it looks great for the first week or so, but as soon as one of us needs a scarf, we just pull it out and everything else gets kind of flung around and you're not really bothered to fold everything back, put it back in neatly. So perhaps something like a box can help keep them organized, but also I'm hoping that it'll help with maintaining that organization. So for example, what I like to do instead of having things folded on top of each other is to place them like so, and that makes it a lot easier just to grab out exactly the one that you need. Alright, luckily that fits, so I can more neatly cut off the edge of it. Now my tip is to always start off with just using old boxes just to test things out, because like in this space, it was not organized for months, and now finally it's always kind of a Tetris to play around these different boxes, and perhaps it's super inconvenient to keep all the caps here or the gloves on top of here. Maybe it's better to eventually put it on the shelf here. So I find that there's no real point in investing in those nicer fabric boxes before kind of testing out the way you've organized something, see if it works, and then buy those things. So for now, old boxes like this will have to do the trick, which I'm sure they will. Let's see for the next part. Okay, another example, much better. Now instead of having the gloves stacked on top of each other, which we all know again how that's gonna go, I've just grabbed this old shoebox and just for now put them sort of side by side, so this should be a lot easier to grab. Okay, next thing that I organized was just some of the neck scarves. I have all the caps organized in this box here. And then I placed more of the winter beanies in the box next to it. Okay, I think everything in this cabinet is organized enough to a state where it's a good way to kind of test it out the way it's organized now. Everything should be in easy reach. Okay, and as for the last part, I tried putting the mirror here, but that looks super ugly, so I'm gonna say no to this. And if people want to check their outfits with their coats or their shoes, well then they're just gonna have to come to the apartment. Alright, and so now the last few steps are done, and that means that this coat room slash shoe room is finally done. It looks so much better, everything is a lot easier to grab, and considering that it's wintertime, well hopefully with the system it'll be a lot easier to find gloves or a beanie or a scarf, anything like that. So I'm super happy that this was finally done. I know that not every room will look like this, and sometimes some of these kind of hallways or coat rooms will be a lot bigger than this, and sometimes they'll be significantly smaller than this. But regardless of how your space looks, I hope you were able to take away a few tips, and of course something that you could apply into your own home. This channel is all about trying to come up with practical and creative ways to help you get more organized, even just one step at a time. So if that's something that might help you out or something that might interest you, then I would love it for you to consider subscribing. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you had or will have a lovely day. Adios.